How do you tell what's genuine, what's factual online? That's the question WT librarians Kelly Hoppy and Mark McKnight tried to answer in their recent TLA presentation. I had the opportunity to sit down with them this week to discuss their work and hear their advice. Mark and Kelly joining us now in studio to talk more about this important topic. Y'all, thanks for your time. Thanks for coming in today. Sifting through false news and legitimate news is something that we all have to deal with now in this day and age. My first question about that is, why does it exist at all? The supply and demand portion of fake news. Why does this exist, and why are we drawn to it? Mark, that question to you first.
Well, I think that primarily it exists because there's a market for it, because it feeds into our bias. We've all got to recognize that we each have our own biases with regards to the information we'd like to see, and the fake news sort of feeds into that. So,
Kelly, you agree?
I do agree. I think that also, we're just looking for things that are interesting, and those things are usually things that we have a bias toward, and so we just sort of latch onto those things.
The algorithm is feeding us the things that it knows that we respond to, right?
That's exactly
so we're
right.
able to click on that. So when we click on something that's interesting, what are the guidelines that y'all recommend, and seeing what and how have you improved on those guidelines with your research?
Well, one thing is, when you come across something that does not have any citations or any facts to back it up, that's a signal to you that it could be fake news and that you need to do a little more research. There's something called lateral reading that Mark could explain, because it's a very helpful tool when you are looking to authenticate whether or not something is true.
So essentially, lateral reading is when you're doing any sort of research or looking at anything like this online, you just open up a secondary tab and take a look at a few key pieces of information about a given article that you're looking at. So you might want to look up the author and see, how many years have they been writing about this or studying this, and you might want to take a look at the where this stuff is being published, just to kind of see, what is their reasoning for publishing this kind of stuff. So that's what lateral reading is, just moving laterally, opening up a secondary tab and taking a look at this information.
Why are we predisposed, maybe? Why are we prone to not do that in the first place? Knowing what we do about advertising and fake news and all of the content that is on the internet, what do you think? Why do you think it takes us that second moment to think, I should check on this before I just believe it?
I think a big thing is that it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of effort. It's much easier to just believe the thing that you've read and to share it without thinking any further. It's much more difficult and more time-consuming to do the research to find out whether or not that is true.
To do the critical thinking
That's
of the actual information that you're being given.
That's exactly right.
Why do you think that's more? Why do you think that is incredibly important, or more important during an election season, especially? Do you think that that this sort of research and this sort of critical thinking and lateral reading is really important when you're reading things that have to do with midterm elections, national elections, all of it?
Well, I think it's just because we're inundated with so much information about each one of the different candidates, and it's really difficult to see just on its face whether or not it's real or not. So, you've got to make the mental note to actually take that extra step and think critically about it.
And each side is saying the things to make their candidate look good. They're not going to say anything to make their candidate look bad. And so if you really want to be well informed, you have to look at all sides. You have to step away from your favorite candidate and look at the other side to see if what is being said is true.
So we've talked a little bit about what makes fake news maybe unreliable. If the author hasn't written anything or hasn't written a lot of things, who pays them, right? Where their money, where their funding comes from. Well, what makes a news source reliable? What's the other side of that?
If they have a well-established track record, if they have reputable reporters who have maybe published and they can back up all of their information with facts, you can tell that they've done their research because they have citations for things. They aren't making outrageous claims without facts to back them up. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. You're looking to make sure that they've got a lot of references and a lot of citations in order to back up the information that they're giving you. I think that's the biggest thing to look for.
One of the things that I always tell my students at WT when we're talking about fake news is that I think it's also maybe important, and y'all please push back on this, but I think it might be important to make sure that the people who are writing the information have a track record of getting things right, but admitting when they're wrong. And having that building their credibility in those ways of being accountable to the facts,
right.
To what those things are.
Right, so you're talking about making sure that their credibility is good. We call that in the library world authority. And so having a track record where you not only are right a decent amount of time, but you also admit when you're wrong is building that authority. And so we want you to look for authors who have a good authority to actually, write about or talk about what it is that they're writing on.
I think that could also make people feel more comfortable to maybe say, okay, I thought this was true, but I realize it's not, and I've seen this professional person say they made a mistake, and I think that could help people just in general have buy-in to give themselves the freedom, to say, oh, I'd made a mistake, that's not right, and I did some research and I found out.
That there is actually another side to this
Right.
that maybe they weren't considering.
Exactly.
Mark and Kelly, thanks for your work on this. Thanks for coming in and talking with us about it. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.